recently, Dave Rubin.
I'm sorry.
It's funny right off the bat, right? Recently, Dave Rubin invited Donald Trump Jr. on his program to discuss his latest book, which he bought bulk copies of in order to make it to the New York Times bestseller list. But nonetheless, let's go to this next clip where they're talking about the transgender community and how Dave Rubin thinks that it's a great idea to say terrible things about them. Take a look.
Yeah, and it's a constant movement of destruction because to lift somebody, you always have to take somebody out.
So it creates a competing interest. One day I'm going to have to do a podcast and ask you, because I mean, as a gay man, what are your thoughts as it relates to sort of, again, outspoken, activist, homosexual people getting owned by the trans movement, and like it's not enough after the years that you guys fought to get the equality that you have,
Don, as I told you,
that people probably pretend doesn't exist.
As I told you 8 years ago, all I ever wanted was exact equality under the law. That's what we've got. You can call, now we're equal. You call me whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like you could call me right now. It wouldn't mean anything to me.
So we had to bleep out that word, but he thinks that it's okay for Don Jr. to call him a gay slur because he has the right to get married now. So that's all that matters.
Interesting ideas.
Yeah. So there are no protections on a federal level for the gay community. Let's just put that out there. Okay, so some states might have some protections, but on a federal level, those protections, remain to be seen. And so what does that do? That means that some of the red states can go ahead and discriminate against gay people in the name of religious liberty or whatever it is that they want to cite. That's a big problem. Secondly, when it comes to the transgender community, we're talking about people who have almost no power in America today, right? So many of them get murdered. So many of them are in such a terrible financial situation because of their identity. They don't get hired, they get discriminated against, and it leads to suicide. Suicide is very high within the transgender community. So to like talk about this as if like, no, we have all the rights in the world. Like you can go ahead and call me, a gay slur because everything's equal now. It's just not true. But I mean, Dave Rubin would have to read something to understand that.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't understand. I feel like we gotta hold him to at least I believe George W. Bush used to talk about the soft bigotry of low expectations. And I have that for Dave Rubin. He's not, it's tough. Even I start to feel uncomfortable at a certain point. By the way, Don Jr., I just want to say, is looking very rested in that clip. I just noticed that. But besides that, I mean, it's hard. Like, I think there's actually been a good amount of work done to show that this is not a credible person and he's an object of comedy. The sentiment is actually genuinely disgusting for the really serious issues you just outlined there. But now it is like a character arc where it's like, dude, where is your like basic human dignity?
Yeah.
It's actually genuinely a little uncomfortable to watch. Definitely.
Look, during the break, I made a point about how his behavior really goes against human evolution, right? And the reason why I say that is because in order for humans to survive, I mean, you go back to the earliest periods. The way you survive is by having social groups, right? He has no social group because everyone hates him. And I'm not saying that to just simply dunk on him. I'm saying it because he has no values, he has no ethics, he has no morals, yada, yada. We all get that. But he has gone out of his way in the name of profit to turn his back on the very people who fought for his right to get married. But more importantly, do you think that the right wingers that he's like shilling for right now actually like him? I mean, they laugh at him. They've started protesting him at some of the events that he's been doing, which is out of control, right? And so I'm just saying, like, to what end? Like, I get it. I get that wealth is desirable for people. I get that, that Koch brother money is real sweet. But at the end of the day, I mean, what good is your life if you have no one to share it with?
Well, it is the money, of course, I suppose. It's just weird to see someone kind of turn themselves into sort of a lapdog for this guest who obviously doesn't share, you wouldn't think, values that in any way reflect your own. And yet, as you say, but I don't watch him much, so I don't really get. So this is like, for me, it's sort of an education. But I've watched it a bit, and he does.
I mean, if you're gonna watch, you got to be ready. It's a heavy lift.
It is his MO, though, which is to kind of, as I say, just turn himself into a supplicant for whomever shows up on his show. In this case, I mean, on the opposite side of some of the basic values that you'd think his life would be about.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I mean,
I do want to quickly read a comment from one of our members. Der Machina says, I don't think it's fair to dunk on Dave Rubin. His brain is always recovering from so many high-level ideas, so it's too easy.
So he does have friends, is what you're telling me.
You can become a member, by the way, by going to tyt.com/join. I want to incorporate some of these member comments in our stories.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.